Hello, hello, hello. It's match day 14 for the Major League here in the SSL. I'm Max, and I hope everyone's having a good afternoon. Unless you only have one sock on, then I don't know what you're doing. But we got some interesting matches here today. Last place Tokyo versus Shanghai, who have had a pretty good season so far. CDT versus Hollywood. Really, I mean, we all know that USP's top of the table, but this is as important as any other game this season. Both still title challengers-esque. USP has a little bit of a lead, but nevertheless, all these points matter. And then finally rounding us out for the day, Catalunya versus Leafy Side Celtic FC. Incredibly excited for all three matches. Tokyo versus Shanghai. You know, it's been a really tough season for Tokyo. So I don't think I could say too many positive things about Tokyo, but there's always a chance for a surprise, right? Looking at both formations, Shanghai coming out in a 4-3-3, technically a 4-3-1-2. And Hollywood top of the table. I think that the SSL index was a little bit outdated the last time I looked at it. Unfortunate, but nevertheless, here we go. Super Hoop starting us off, almost getting cut out by Jimothias, but Slackters to Adamu. Adamu taking up the ball, trying to make it past Bob, trying to find someone in the middle, but Takechi's there to cut out that cross. Tokyo finding themselves in a 5-2-1 with Greer more out as a winger. Greer's getting old. Put him in the retirement home. Only just. Lind now. Taking out the ball for Shanghai. To Johnson. Trick Johnson. Gets the ball taken off him by Super Hoops. Down was able to head it away to Greer. Greer. Can he make anything of it? Back to Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson. To Lee. Finds Ailish. To Super Hoops once again. Getting pressed by two different people. Jimothias and Trick Johnson want the ball off of him, but Super Hoops finds a pass. Lee now finds a fantastic through ball face with the shot, but it's all wrong, and DeSoto blocks it. Greer on the corner. We know how good Greer is on the corners. Trying to find anyone, but Takechi is there. Just like he started off the match, cutting out a cross. Takechi throws it short to Lind. To Trick Johnson. Finds Voda getting pressed by two. Ronflex takes off the ball off of Voda. Here's face. No face. To Adamu. Adamu to Greer. Greer trying to find someone. Trying to find anyone. Getting pressed by Del Vecchio. To Gunnarsson. To Lee. Finds Super Hoops with some space. Super Hoops. Is he going to have a shot? Nope. Passes it right back to Ailish. Sorry. Yeah, Ailish. On the right. Going to the byline. Cuts in. Super Hoops with a shot, but it's blocked by Big Mac Johnson. And hits the side netting. Greer. But Takechi's there to cut it out. Pretty solid stuff from Tokyo so far. I said that, you know, it'd have to maybe take a little bit of a surprise, but they've looked ripe for the surprise. But here's Del Vecchio. Has a shot, but it's way over. Gets the footing wrong. Gets his back to too far up. His chest too far up. DeSoto. To Bob. To Johnson. Finds Hunningham. To Voda. To Trick Johnson. Trick Johnson with so much space with the shot. And he's just curling, but doesn't get down. That would have been such a nice goal, but once again, Shanghai just can't get the ball down. You know, when it's in the moment, it's so hard to really, like, place your shot, especially, like, on the ground if you really want to challenge the goalkeeper. But Shanghai creating two pretty important chances. It's pretty quiet stuff this game. Here's Lee, though. To No Face. Super Hoops. Finds Slackters. Out to left to Adamu. Can he find a pass? Finds, and it's off the post. Super Hoops collects. Trying to find anyone. Voda. To Hebjanic. Trick Johnson, a terrible pass in the box. Lee's able to pick it up, but it's finally taken off the ball by Lind. And Shanghai are able to clear. Slackters to Ronflex. To Greer. Is he going to have a shot? Yes, he does. And Takechi gets a save. A diving save by Takechi to keep Shanghai still level. But Tokyo's knocking. Takechi unmatchable on these corners. Able to pick out basically every single one. Takechi boots it long, trying to find Jimothius, but Ailish is there first to Ronflex. Slakters with a terrible pass. Voda's able to cut that out. Honing him to Bob. Bob trying to find Javianic. Does. And there's the first goal, but that looks so offside to me. And it's going to count. I got it all wrong. Honing him to Bob. And Bob to Javianic. Javianic with the first time just smacks it home past Kanders. Kanders really couldn't do much there. Oh, I don't know. I don't know why I thought he was offsides. But Javianic finally gets the goal. Super hoops. And we're right before halftime, too. That's kind of hurt for Tokyo. But Tokyo wanted to respond quickly, but it's set away by Del Vecchio. But only out to Adamu. Adamu going to take it to the byline, trying to find anyone. But Javianic to Voda. Voda can't get the pass right to Jimothius, to Chambers. Ailish getting taken down by Big Man Johnson. But here's Super Hoop. Super Hoops with the shot. Can Greer put it back in? To Adamu. And there it is. Momo Adamu equalizes it for Tokyo. A kerfuffle in the box, and Tokyo are able to capitalize. This is what happens when you can't clear your lines. Super Hoops. Takechi with the save, but Greer keeps the ball alive to Adamu, and Adamu first time past Takechi, nutmegs Takechi, I believe. And there it is, 1-1. Javianic scores right before half. You thought it was all over, but Momo Adamu and Tokyo storm right back and are able to find the equalizer. And that brings us to half, 1-1. I think it's been a pretty low-key affair, all things considered, but Tokyo have looked strong. Some might say it's because of the addition from No Face, a little bit of restructuring from different people. Others might say it's because Momo Adamu scored a goal, and literally, yes, that is why they look good, but you know how it is. All right, here we go. Del Vecchio to Greer. Greer is able to tackle Del Vecchio out for a Shanghai throw-in. Starting off the second half strong. Super Hoops to Ronflex. Back to Super Hoops. Back to Ronflex, the big boy. Ailish to Super Hoops. Super Hoops. Are they going to have a shot? Yes, they do, but Takechi is able to dive and collect. Shanghai Dragons only registering one shot on target so far. Tokyo not doing a whole lot better with only two. But here's Bob on the free kick to Javianic. A short... And what... Oh, but it hits the side netting. A short free kick. Javianic trying to curl it in. And is unable to. But here's Super Hoops with the cross. Trying to find... Greer does, but Greer just can't get his head right. And it's out for a Shanghai goal kick. But here's Gunnarsson to Adamu. Del Vecchio takes the ball off of Adamu. A rare mistake from Adamu, but here's Del Vecchio. Del Vecchio trying to find Honingham. Del Vecchio to Bob. To Voda with the shot. And there it is. Marcel Voda's 11th goal of the season. This man's on fire. And what a nice goal it was, too. Does this man score tap-ins? I don't believe so. A first-time strike. Del Vecchio plays it back to the top of the box to Bob. And Voda, first time past Kanders. Kanders really, I think, blocked by his two defenders. Unable to see anything. And Shanghai, once again, although they're underperforming in the XG, find themselves on top of Tokyo. Bob. Trying to find Honingham. It's headed away, though, but only out to Lind, to Bob. Getting pressed by Chambers. Chambers wins the ball out. Back to Kanders. Kanders clears. Tokyo need the pressure off of him, but Lee's going to try to go up, but Lind heads it to Voda. Voda to Honingham. Honingham. Are they going to have a shot? It's a penalty. What just happened there? Honingham trying to evade a tackle. Still gets the penalty. Can I call that aura? Habjanic trying to make it 3 for Shanghai. Habjanic. Pass Kanders. There it is. The 3. Habjanic with their second goal of the match. Shanghai trying to find a fourth. Trying to find Trick. There it is. Trick Johnson finds Shanghai's fourth, but if I was wrong about the Habjanic one, that looked certainly onside. And it is going to count. Shanghai finding separation quickly after into the second half, and Tokyo being left in the dust. Trick Johnson heads it over Super Hoops, and Kanders really couldn't cut it out. No face to Lee. Super Hoops. Ailish. Tokyo are going to need a miracle. Finds Lee. To Ronflex. To Chambers. Out to the middle to Sliders. To Gunnarsson back in the defense. Finds Adamu out to the left with some space. Adamu trying to get past Del Vecchio. And the ball's cut out by Big Mac, but that was just insane intuition. Here's Voda. Marcel Voda to Jimmy Diaz. Shanghai want their fifth. Habjanic. Habjanic wants a hat trick. And there it is. Habjanic with the hat trick. Shanghai 5. Tokyo 1. Habjanic putting on a show today. And what a show it's been. Shanghai finally clicking. You know, I'd say it's probably not been the prettiest of games for Shanghai today. But does pretty even matter when you're able to put 5 past Tokyo? Not particularly. Kanders, the 5.8 so far. I'll be honest, I really didn't see too much from him today that would suggest a rating anything better. Adamu now, Tokyo. Down and out. Want a consolation goal. Adamu trying to find their way past Bob. Is able to. Greer to No Face. Is No Face on sides? Didn't look like it to me. I've been wrong already today. This time I'm right. Adamu, and yeah, I think No Face is 10 miles off sides. Probably made his way to Australia by the time that he came back to collect the ball. Bob trying to find DeSoto, but it's headed away by Gunnarsson. Big Mac to Voda. Voda with the shot. What a goal by Marcel Voda. Oh, my word. Get this man off the pitch. Lock him in a dungeon. You've unleashed him to the SSL. And he's too good. Big Mac Johnson with probably the easiest pass of his career, the easiest assist, and oh, what a curling shot by Marcel. Oh, my word. It's a first timer, too. No. 6-1. Shanghai. End the match. And there it is. It is over. Nah, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I don't know. Oh my word. That was a ridiculous goal. And there it is. 6, Shanghai. Tokyo with only 1. Unfortunately losing today's match. Unfortunate for their fans. But Shanghai's going to be jubilated. And Shanghai takes the Asian Derby. Seems like, yeah. I mean, really no highlights from Tokyo, but a 9.6 man of the match from Habjanic. Voda putting in an 8.6 with 2 goals. And Trick Johnson also finding themselves on the score sheet. And it was just a complete team performance. I said it wasn't the prettiest, but, you know, they really smoothed out any edges towards the end of the match. What a goal by Marcel Voda to put the salt in the wound. Tokyo was already dead. It was quite literally 30 seconds before the end of the match, but Voda decided that today was his day. And what a goal that was. You got to forgive him. If it was a tap in, I probably would have been like, missed the ball. But you always want to score a goal, don't you? But here's probably the most interesting match of today's match day. Tenochtitlan versus Hollywood FC. Hollywood find themselves at the top of the table. This is as important to Hollywood as it is to CDT, who have been able to put up somewhat of a title run this season, only 4 points away from first place. Sao Paulo at 31, with already a game played. Hollywood could find themselves still at the top. Will find themselves still at the top of the table no matter what. But can they extend this lead from 1 point to 4? Cormier finds Dia to Hunt with the shot, and it's just wide. Nothing too hard for Calvin Ball too early in this match. Mograine to Capinas. Capinas gets the ball taken off of them by Tut. Hunt to Tut. Back to Calvin Ball. Terrible pass. Dia to Capinas. Capinas with a shot, but Ball is able to make up for the mistake, and Capinas was offsides anyway. Ball kicking it along to Tut. Tut heads it down for Roger. Roger with the shot, but it's just wide. Wallerson to Martel. It's just been a long ball. De Silva with a fantastic tackle. That's not a penalty. Referee, what are you looking at? Wow. All right. Penalty for Hollywood. Martel's going to take it. Against Calvin Ball. Can Calvin Ball show that Ball don't lie? Martel against Ball. And there it is. Ball does not lie. That was not a penalty. Martel has missed the penalty. Hunt to now. Hollywood still on the front foot. Close with the shot, but is off the crossbar and headed away by Roger. Out to safety. Out to Elliott. Johnny Elliott taking it up. Gets taken down by Capinas. Ball showing that Ball don't lie. Elliott to Armoros. To Tut. Taken down by Hunt, but Caetano with the shot. What a goal! Andre Caetano to open up the match. What a goal! And how important is this goal? A fantastic strike by Andre Caetano. Elliott to Armoros. Armoros to Tut. Taken down by Hunt. But Caetano just shifts the ball past Dia. And what a strike that is. Ridiculous from Tenochtitlan. You got to say a little bit deserved. Skavgard. Hollywood wanted an answer, but Armoros is able to cut that out to Patterson. Back to Armoros. Tenochtitlan want to find their second. Trying to find Patterson. Does. Patterson. Back to Armoros. Armoros wants to find someone in the middle. Finds Elliott. Elliott, are they going to have a shot? Yes, they do, but Walruson's there to save that. And held very well by Walruson. We've seen two fantastic goals from two incredible Season 20 prospects so far today. But here's Cormier with space. Space on the left. Getting pressed by Volta. Cormier. But Ball's there to cut it out. Ball on his game today. Already with a penalty save. Though, I'll be honest, it was probably one of Martel's weaker penalties. No credit away from Ball. Those are always so difficult to save. But here's Skavgard to Capinas. Capinas, Martel gets the ball taken off him by De Silva, but De Silva does not clear correctly close, is able to pick it up. Hunt to Mograine. Mograine on the right. Finds Martel with the first time, and there it is. Hollywood has that answer to Andre Caetano's wonder goal. Martel able to just steer it goalwards of a fantastic cross by Mograine. De Silva just unable to keep up with Martel, and Ball really left with little opportunity to do anything about that, but Hollywood find themselves equal. Here's Dia off of a throw-in, taking it more towards the middle. But Elliott is there to cut it out. Patterson, can they find Roger? Needs to find Volta or Roger. Armoros, can they find anyone in the middle? Patterson, and it's just wide. Gets the header all wrong. I thought that Wallerson had saved it for a second, but just seems like the header was all wrong. Tut to Estrangen to De Silva on the right. Has space. Gonna take it up the pitch. Martel going way back to track back, but De Silva trying to find anyone in the middle. Patterson with the header, but Wallerson's able to collect. .30 minutes into the match, we've already had several good chances. Calderon getting pressed by Roger. Back to Wallerson. To Hefeweizen taking it up the pitch. To Close. To Cormier with so much space. Cormier gonna try to find Kupinas. Can't. It's blocked. Martel to Skovgaard with the shot. And there it is. Hollywood finds themselves up 2-1. Skovgaard getting the nice dink off the post. Cormier reasserts Hollywood's lead. And Skovgaard just getting so nice. Just what a nice service from the post. And Hollywood found themselves up, extending currently their lead at the top of the table by 4. Volta trying to find an equalizer. Elliott, but is headed away by Close. Kupinas is able to make a very nice turn. Can they find Martel? Getting pressed by Caetano. But Ball is able to cut that out. D is not a goalkeeper. Ball clears it, trying to find Volta, but Cormier's there first. Dia in the midfield, able to pass it to Martel to Cormier out wide. Cormier, can they find anyone in the middle? Finds Dia, but it's blocked and cleared away by, I believe it was Estrangen. But here's Caetano trying to get off a counter for Tenochtitlan. Volta on the right. Volta trying to find anyone, but Wallerson's able to cut that out. Wallerson kicks along, trying to find Martel. Martel to Kupinas with a fantastic first touch. Getting pressed by Tut. Kupinas trying to find anyone in the middle. Can they find Close? But it's headed away by Elliott, but only out to Mograine. Mograine trying to keep the play alive. Brings it all the way into the middle. Skovgaard with a shot. And there's Skovgaard's second. Caspian Skovgaard makes it 3-1 for Hollywood FC. Elliott to Tut. To Elliott. Tut to Volta. But it's cleared away by Hollywood once again, and they have another counter. Close. Can they find Kupinas? Close. And it's blocked for corner. Tenochtitlan slowly losing their grasp on the game. Haven't been able to create up too much after that wonder goal by Caetano, but, you know. And, it's a corner. I don't know why I thought that the referee pointed to the spot. I was like, another penalty? Hunt. Once again for Hollywood on the corner. Hefeweizen heads it out to Close with the shot, but it's just over. Ball stretching, trying to find it, but luckily didn't have to do too much. But here's Hunt on another free kick. Pinkman able to clear it. Caetano. Are they able to create a counter? Pinkman finds Amoros out on the left. Amoros playing coy, plays it back to Ball. Ball to De Silva, but it's cut out by Cormier, but only out to Estrangen. Estrangen to Volta. It was a dangerous game there by Ball. Getting pressed by Dia and Cormier. They win. Calderon to Skovgaard to Dia. Dia plays it out wide to Mograine. Mograine out on the right. Mograine. And there it is. Pete Martel finds Hollywood's fourth. An easy header for Martel. And their second goal of the match. I'd be surprised if they call this one offsides. And it is offsides. Tenochtitlan kept in this game. Ah, by a whisker. But a whisker still counts, you know? Volta on the corner. Tenochtitlan won a goal right back before half. Can they find Pinkman? No, it's headed away. But only right back out to Volta. Volta. But Wallerson's able to cut this one out. 1 goal for Tenochtitlan, and they're right back in this game. Wallerson. Dia to Close. Close. To Cormier. Finds Dia. Dia with space. Dia's going to have a shot, but... ball walks out of bounds for a Hollywood corner. Dia with a header. And Tut off the line is able to head it away, but only right back out to Hunt. Hunt, but this time ball doesn't... Yeah, they're not going to walk out. Yeah, okay. This time ball doesn't walk out of bounds, thankfully. And there it is. Hollywood 3, Tenochtitlan 1. Hollywood looked strong from the beginning of the match. Caetano was able to score a wonder goal to put Tenochtitlan up 1, but they haven't had any answers to the 3 goals that Hollywood's put up since then. Calvin Ball with the 7.7 for Tenochtitlan has been doing so much for them so far. Of course, with the save penalty, that already improves the rating so much. But I think similarly to the Shanghai game, Tenochtitlan, comparatively to Tokyo, are just not able to clear their lines. Of course, very different opposition, but nevertheless, the storyline remains clear for today. Clear your lines before they clear them for you into the back of your net. Bars? I don't know. Johnny Elliott can't find Patterson. Is cut out by Hollywood, but Elliott's able to cut it right back out. Caetano to Volta. Volta with some space. Volta's going to take it up on the right. Volta. But Calderon clears it only out to De Silva. De Silva tries to keep the play alive, but here's Amoros. Amoros, are they going to have a shot? Yes, they do. And it's off the outside of the post. Unlike Skogard's first goal, the post doesn't play too nicely for Amoros, and it's unfortunate for Tenochtitlan. Wallerson. Estrangen to Volta. And Dia to Cupinas. Cupinas has Close with so much space. Close. And just gets the shot all wrong. It's wide. Cormier finds Martel to Dia. Dia to Skogard. Skogard with the shot, but it's way over. Skogard trying to find their hat trick. Martel to Hunt. Hunt to Mogreen. On the right, Mogreen trying to find a cross. Can they? Cupinas with the shot, but it's blocked. Hunt, but Ball's able to cut that out. Calvin Ball. Everyone wants to be him. Elliott on the corner. Dia heads it away, but only out to Pinkman. Back to Elliott. Pinkman, Elliott, playing a 1-2. Trying to find Patterson. Can they? But it's off the outside of the post. If I were a conspiracy theorist, I'd say investigate the posts. Been playing too kindly for Hollywood and not all that kind for Tenochtitlan. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. De Silva finds Roger, and Roger puts Tenochtitlan back in this match. Tenochtitlan 2, Hollywood 3, with over 30 minutes to play. Plus some stoppage time, and Roger, I mean, I really don't know. How do you describe that shot? Just near far post, right in front of the goalkeeper. Does it all right. Volta trying to find an equalizer for Tenochtitlan. Finds... Oh, Pinkman, but again, off the post. And Skogard off the line. And Elliott picks it up, but Martel's able to get it off of Elliott. Martel trying to bring it up for Hollywood, trying to find that cushion. All right, maybe the conspiracy theory bells are starting to ring a little bit. Investigate the goalposts. Investigate them. I don't know if you guys remember at the end of the 2022 World Cup where people were saying that like Emi Martinez's shin guards had magnets in them, and that's why Kolomuani missed the goal. Into the 85th minute. Tenochtitlan only down by 1 goal. Want to keep their title chances alive. Ball. Kneels down the ball. Gonna kick it long. Throw it. I don't know. Ball. Playing with Martel. Decides to kick along. Patterson to Volta. Volta to Roger. Roger has a golden chance. And Walverson with a fantastic save. Roger alone with the goalkeeper. Just has to get it past Walverson, and Walverson makes his body big. Pinkman to Volta. Skovgaard gets taken down, and it's a free kick for Hollywood. And what a chance that was. What a chance. You could see it in the XG chart. That was ridiculous. It was worth a penalty. And Walverson comes up big. It's the 91st minute. Can Hollywood just kneel this one out? Dia to Martel. To Cormier. Cormier out on the left. Cormier want to find that cushion again. Martel. And Skovgaard with their hat trick kills the game in the 92nd minute. And Hollywood are going to walk away with the 3 points and that 4-point cushion at the top of the table. What a fantastic strike by Skovgaard to put it away. You can argue it was a tap-in, and I'd maybe agree with you. You could also say investigate the goalpost, and I'd say worth a shot, right? Dia. And Hollywood come away with a fantastic victory. Tenochtitlan falls short. They could have equalized in the 85th minute, but as the saying goes, when you miss a shot, you miss a shot. That's not a saying, but today it is. Hollywood 4, Tenochtitlan 2. Skovgaard with a hat trick. Martel with another goal to put an extra cushion. But of course, today's match with Lil Skovgaard was all Walverson. This game wouldn't have ended up the way it did without Walverson. Only with a 6.8, but in my opinion, that save makes them the man of the match. But, of course, what's been written down here is that the player of the match is Caspian Skovgaard, which is completely fair. Completely fair. Pete Martel with a goal and 2 assists. Of course, with that missed penalty earlier. And here we go, our last match of the match day. So round it out. Catalonia versus Leaveside Celtic. We've had 2 fantastic goals today. Ivoda by Caetano. We'll see if we can get a third here in Catalonia versus Leafyside. And here we go. Leafyside playing up 4-2, 3-1. And Hollywood FC, as we can see, that kind of rhymes, with a 4-point cushion. Cartista getting us started off. Dehiron to Ahmed. Nikolai gets the ball taken off of him by Ball. Ball getting taken off the ball by Ahmed, but only out to Hendry. Hendry to Miedema. Hendry. Is that Joe Hendry? I'll play the song if it is. Dehiron. Headed down by Trella, but it's just wide. Dybala on the corner for Leafyside Celtic. Trying to find anyone. Can they find someone? It's headed away, but only out to Skovgaard with a shot, and it's off the inside of the crossbar, but just can't get into the back of the net, and it's cleared away finally by Catalonia. And Leafyside have to recollect themselves at the midfield, but here's Noseworthy to Dybala, and it's cleared away by Kawasaki, but Dybala was offsides. Stain. Alex Stain to Skovgaard. Finds Pedrillo to McTandy to Hendry. Detrella putting his body in front of Miyadema, but here's Kawasaki to Bamford. Fry with a fantastic turn. Fry taking it up the pitch. Has some space with ball. Is able to track back and get the ball off of Fry. But here's Dybala. Leafy Sit trying to put up a bit of a counter. Dybala with a shot, but Twinkle Toes is able to easily collect that. Pedrillo. Takahashi taking it up for Leafy side. Takahashi getting pressed by Ahmed. Ahmed wids out to Detrella. To Ahmed. To Smith. Gets taken down by Hedry. To Dybala. Dybala's going to have a shot, and it's just over. Dybala feeling himself today. Has found a lot of space so far. Credit to them. Catalunya with a 4-2-2-4. Or sorry, 4-2-4. It's really a 4-2-4, if we're being honest. Hendry to Stain. Gets the ball taken off of him by Cartista. Cartista taking it up the pitch. To Smith. Smith finds Bonito out on the right. Bonito's to Cartista, but Lax is there with the save. Ahmed and Lax is there once again to collect. Pedrillo on the free kick for Leafy side, and Twinkle Toes dives and is able to hold on to that ball. A fantastic save. Skogard to Hendry. It's been so far a match of two goalkeepers battling it out. Pedrillo to Dybala to Miyadema with some space. Miyadema needs to get past Twinkle Toes, but Detrella is able to block it, and Miyadema went a little bit too early anyway. Dehiron trying to find anyone in the box. Finds the wrong team though. Fry back to Dehiron. Dehiron at the byline, taken off the ball by Stain, but only out to Fry. Back to Dehiron. Dehiron for the third chance. Finds Bonito, but Bonito only heads it to Lax. Stain to Takahashi. Takahashi finds ball with so much space. Ball with the shot, and what a shot that is. Kika ball. With the outside of their foot, this is kind of just nice to look at. What an angle this is. Ball, yeah. That was a fantastic goal. I'm not going to say it's the craziest of strikes, but, outside the foot, able to kind of guide it past Twinkle Toes. And Leafy side find themselves 1-0 up. Twinkle Toes to Detrella. To Kawasaki. To Fry. Bamford. Ahmed to Smith in the middle. Getting pressed by 3. Ahmed plays a long ball to Dehiron. Dehiron with space. On the right. Dehiron tries to find Bonito. Does, but Lax is once again there to put a stop to this. And is out for a Catalunya corner. Miyadema heads it away. Dehiron to Kawasaki to Detrella. Pedrillo with the Fry with the shot, and the header ends headed over. Lax is really like the answer to the question: what happens if you put a cow in the, in the goal? Of course, I'm not calling Snorlax a cow. I'd go one better. It's a sentient cow with a fantastic range of motion. But just how big they are compared to other goalkeepers in the league. Snorlax really doing justice for Leafy side Celtic. In my opinion, right now, a strong contender for the man of the match. And it is Joe Hendry. It is actually Joe Hendry. I don't know why I never put the two together. Maybe because I learned about Joe Hendry 2 weeks ago. But yeah, Joe Hendry is a soccer player now. I really recommend people that don't know who I'm talking about to look him up and look up the Joe Hendry song. It's a fantastic song. Takahashi getting pressed by Dehiron. Takahashi with the ball all wrong, and Bonito's able to cut that one out. Into the last half of our last match for the match day. Pretty quiet stuff into the first 20 minutes. Ahmed. Catalunya trying to find an equalizer. Out with a fantastic ball to Dehiron. Dehiron finds Varnson, but Varnson has it over. Fry trying to find Bonito. Can't. McKendy heads it away, but only out to Dehiron. Dehiron getting pressed by Takahashi to Ahmed. Ahmed to Smith. Smith. They're going to have a shot. Yes, they do. And it's just blocked by Skavgard. But here's Varnson. Off a corner from Dehiron. Taking off the ball by Miedema. It's out for another Catalunya corner. How many corners have Catalunya had? Say about like 4 or 5. Dehiron. But Miedema clears it, but only out to Dehiron. Bonito with the shot and lacks. It's actually a block by Skavgard. Dehiron on another Catalunya corner. Miedema clears it. And Varnson, all the way in the midfield, is able to collect for Catalunya. Ball. Kick a ball to Skavgard, to Dybala. Dybala with a shot, and Twinkle Toes is able to get their hands behind that, and is out for a Leafy side corner. Ball already with a goal in this match, on the corner. And it's headed away by Catalunya, but only out to Pedrillo, to Ball, and Bonito is able to get their body in front of it, and it's blocked for a corner. Ball trying to find anyone in the middle. It's cleared away once again by Catalunya, but Ball's able to collect. And Pedrillo with the shot, but it's way over. Twinkle Toes to Kawasaki, to the Trella, to Ahmed. Finds Dehiron with space. It's just a quick pass. Tiki Taka. Bonito taking off the ball by Alex Dane, though. Takahashi trying to bring it the other way for Celtic. Miedema taken down. Takahashi taken down. The referee plays on. Okay. Cartista taking on the right. This is a golden opportunity for Catalunya. To Bonito. Bonito with a shot, but it's over. I mean, that was probably one of the most ridiculous sequences I've seen today. Stain to Hendry. Back to Hendry. Joe Hendry finds Miedema, but Twinkle Toes is able to cut that out. I mean, look at this XG chart. Catalunya with 2 and Celtic with not even registering a 1 XG, but it's really been 2 really good chances for Catalunya, unable to capitalize, and the rest has been very, very small chances. But here's Kawasaki. Catalunya trying to find an equalizer before the end of the game. Ahmed to Smith. Smith to Bonito. Finds Dehiron. Dehiron on the right. Trying to find someone in the middle. Lax. And there it is. Smith able to equalize for Catalunya right before the death. Lax has been a wall all game, but just unable to be a wall for the full 90 minutes. Clear your lines. That's the story of today. Just clear your lines and don't concede wonder goals. But here's Ball. Leafy side want a winner. Kika Ball on the corner to win the game for Leafy side. But it's headed away. But only out to Stain. Stain back into the box. Pedrillo. To McTendy. To Hendry. It's cut out by Bamford, and I think that this is going to be it. Twinkle Toes clears it. Bamford down to Varnson. Varnson to Fry. Does Catalunya have one? Can Catalunya find a winner? Bonito. And it's out for a goal. And there's the full-time whistle. And here we have it. It's a 1-1 all square at the end of today's match between Catalunya and Leafy side. Man of the match goes to Andre Dehiron. I might give it to Snorlax, but Dehiron still very deserved. 3 clear-cut chances created. And Smith just able to find themselves at the end of a chance and able to equalize it. And that's going to be the end of today's match day. Hollywood find themselves on the top of today's table. And we had some very fantastic goals. Shanghai putting up 6 against Tokyo. Hollywood increasing their cushion at the top of the table. And finally, Leafy Side and Catalonia find themselves all square at the end of today's match. And thank you guys for joining me. And hope to see you next time. Goodbye.